How's it going, everyone? It is Andre Williams, and over here we talk stocks and we focus on one thing. Always protect your profits. And you know what time it is. It is time for the joke of the day. If you're new to this channel, we do this 5 days out of the work week. Maybe you had a long, maybe you had a stressful day, or maybe it was the market conditions when you came to watch this video, plus hear one of my corny jokes. Here it comes. Why does Waldo wear stripes? Because he doesn't want to be spotted. That's not too bad. That's for all of my old heads out there. You guys know about Waldo. But anyways, what we're going to be talking about today is OCGN, which ended up having a green day inside of the market. So of course we have to talk about it. So first, let's jump into the agenda. If you're new to this channel, I just want to let you know we have timestamps down below inside the description. But if you are a shareholder or you're thinking about taking a position, I highly suggest you watch this full entire video. So the first thing we're going to be going over is the technical analysis. We want to take a look at the price action. We want to know support. We want to know resistance. What do we want to see from OCGN going into tomorrow? And then secondly, we're going to be going on Fintel, taking a look at the recent institutional ownership and as well as the short interest information. Does OCGN continue to have short squeeze potential? We're about to find out. And then we're going to be taking a look at the order flow distribution, where institutions loading up on large scale orders today. The reason why this is important, because this will have an impact on the stock price. And then when all of that is done, we'll be going into the final thoughts and as well as some more key details. So we're going to be doing a technical analysis on OCGN. Let's see how it performed on the day. So it ended up closing at $7.65, being up 4.79%. On the low, it tested $7.30, and then on the high, testing $7.75. When we take a look at the volume stats on the day, we traded at 7.652 million shares, and the average volume over 10 trading days is at 12.443 million shares. So even though we had below average volume, we can see there was a lot of buying today for OCGN. Now, when we take a look at our chart here, we can see from the RSI down below, it is right around 54.20. We are gaining some momentum. And then when we take a look at the moving averages on our chart, we have strength above the 200 day. We are also below the 100 day. But one thing that I love to see, we are above the 21-day EMA, which is set at $7.36, and we did close the day at $7.65. We're also able to use this as an area of support as well, because we tested $7.30, and then we had a strong move up until we got to $7.75, and that's where we were met with some selling pressure there. But to keep in mind, as far as what I'm looking forward to seeing for tomorrow, I would love to see a test to this $8 level, which lines up right with the 100 day. I do see there will be some selling pressure here due to the fact this is a psychological area for OCGN. Many will be trying to take profits here, but if we have a lot of momentum, especially within this particular area, then I'm looking forward to seeing a strong move to the upside where we can test around $8.36 and then seeing where we would be going from there. Now, as far as if we do decide to pull back, as far as for the end of the day tomorrow, I'd want to see 730 hold up, and as far as the next level that I'd want to see hold up would be right here around $7.15. So let's see what happens for tomorrow for OCGN. So we're going to take a look at the recent institutional ownership and as well as the short interest information for OCGN. So as we scroll down on the page, green rows indicate new positions while red rows indicate closed positions. So you can see for the 23rd, we have no new positions here. But of course, we could see for August the 20th, we have Morgan Stanley that went in with just under 600,000 shares. So this is great to see. And of course, we're seeing some bullish institutional activity, which we pointed out also before on Friday. Now, when we take a look at the short interest information, scrolling down on the page, the short shares availability is at 450,000, updated 10 minutes ago. And for the short ball free rate, it is at 4.69%. When we take a look at the history of the short volume ratio, these were the numbers that we covered. So we could see as of late recently on the close of Friday, it was at 46.99, and on the close of the 19th, it was at 64.08. So due to the fact we ended up seeing a big time move in the stock price today, I'll be very interested to see later on in the evening what the numbers will actually look like. I'm going to bet that the short volume ratio will go up. So let's see what happens. Now let's take a look at the order flow distribution for OCGN. So we could see here on the inflow, we had 11,351. And then on the outflow, we had 13,880. We had 0 on the large for both. On the medium, we had 7,147. And then on the small, we had 4,204. When we take a look at the outflow side, it's 8,074 on the medium, and then on the small, it's 5,806. So it was an outflow day, but keep in mind the volume overall was fairly low. Now, when we take a look at the large scale orders in the last 5 days, we could see for August the 23rd, we had 0. So the institutions were not loading up on large scale orders whatsoever. But of course, we can also see there were no outflows either, so there was no selling on that side. But when we take a look on the August the 20th, the 18th, and as well as the 17th, these are all inflow days with having one outflow day on the 19th. So we did have some below average volume today inside of the market, but we ended up seeing some upside. This just shows us there are many who are holding shares of OCGN, and there was a lot of buying, and that's what saw all of the pressure we saw as far as movements inside of the stock. But one thing to keep in mind as far as for the market overall, it was fairly strong, and OCGN was able to benefit from this. And then of course that big news coming from Pfizer also moves that entire COVID market overall in general. That's why we saw Moderna was also running up. Now let's jump into the final thoughts and as well as some more details. So for my final thoughts for OCGN, when we went on Fintel, yes, it still continues to have short squeeze potential, and we see institutions are continuing as far as with their filings loading up on shares. When we took a look at the order flow distribution, we did have light volume, but we ended up seeing some strength in the stock price, which was something that was great to see, and we have to continue to keep an eye on it going into tomorrow. And one of the levels that I want to see OCGN get to is around $7.90. If we have momentum in this area, then of course I'm going to be looking for that test to $8, which we know is definitely going to be a psychological area, and many are going to be taking profits. And I already said inside of the technicals as far as areas of support what I want to look for if we don't end up getting that. Now, as far as what's happening with Covaxin, I was doing some research, and apparently they're saying that Covaxin is going to be ready for younger populations as young as 2 years old sometime in October. So they have been doing trials in India, and it's great, and it's showing that it's actually been shown to be safe. So this is good to know. Another thing is we see that India is also giving out vaccine certificates for Covaxin, Covishield, and so on. So this is also great that they're moving forward with that. Now, as far as why is this beneficial for ocugen, hey, I know you're going to ask that question, and I'm going to answer it right now. What we are waiting on is the WHO approval. As far as what's going on with the FDA, they're saying, ocugen, you need to do trials on US soil. So until we get an update on ocugen about that and what's the progress on that, I think we have to continue to keep an eye on things and also just enjoy some of the speculation that's coming through, especially with WHO, because we know as far as WHO is concerned, if we don't end up getting that EUL, this stock is going to pull back big time. And I just want to be straight up, and I want to be honest with you guys and be aware of that, because if you're inside of this play, it does come with a lot of risk. And this is part of the reason why I always tell you in my videos, you do your homework, you do your due diligence, and then you say to yourself, hey, will this be the right play for me? And if I do decide to get into this play, what is the strategy? I'm going to be holding for the short, the medium, or the long term. I want to make sure you go through this thought process, because it is so essential, because this is what gives me high conviction, knowing that I'm going to be following through with my strategy, which many of you already know about on this channel. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and we'll be talking real soon.